How about a little two-tap action, chat? Sierra, push. Wait, I had a bomb on her? What the? What's going on, y'all, and welcome on in. Is ML Flan, Pirate Flan, worth it beyond her gorgeous good looks? No. But don't leave just yet. Please don't exit out of the video. She's not really worth it gameplay-wise, but there's a lot I want to talk about because, yes, she looks amazing. Some of y'all still may want to pull, but I'll go over everything in this short video. I won't take too long because there's really not too much to talk about, but we'll go over a few things here like Mola's gear, play styles, what I've learned from watching with other people, what I've learned trying herself. Guys, I spent $300 to test her as a standard Bruiser because everyone automatically tried her as a Cleaver because that's kind of where she's going to look strong in faster cleave matches. I'll tell you all about that as well because I got some footage. I played with other people. But I'll give you the nitty-gritty on where she shines, where she doesn't. And so don't leave just yet. Also, I'm going to tell y'all where maybe you want to be saving your mystics for instead. All right, so please stay and watch. Thanks for stopping on in, and let's get on with the video. All right, boys, let's go ahead and talk about Pirate Captain Flan. And I mentioned I spent a lot of money to test her as a Bruiser style build. So I'll show you that here in a second, guys. If you do end up summoning for her, let me know how your summons go. So many of my guys that stopped by the stream today one-tapped her, and I think that's why I had to spend so much to get her. I spent a lot of mystics, and I had to swipe a little bit as well. Now, I don't regret it because I think she looks awesome, and I do want to try to play units that I think I'll have fun with and look great, not just picking the meta units. But I want to guide you guys on what is strong and what is maybe worth skipping if you're mostly worried about gameplay. Now, let's go ahead and look at the Bruiser build real fast. She has burns and bombs, so we automatically want to reach for attack. I tried going for higher attack, guys. I tried going for more speed, but I don't think crit damage is necessarily worth it for her. Think of her as a unit like Carrot, right? Like Caesarea. You want to just stack attack, and then if you want some survivability, go for it. Effectiveness is kind of important as well, but usually that's really just to stop yourself from getting, if people have some random ER from imprints, artifacts, skills, whatever it might be, have some effectiveness. You're not going to be going to try to debuff like super high ER cleansers. Instead, the goal would be to bring Pirate Captain Flan into teams without cleansers, or if they only have one, you ban it out. So this build, what worked and what didn't? The tankiness felt great. Her S2 passive, of course, like Seaside Bologna's, makes her very tanky. Now, the damage felt okay. Really, if Pirate Captain Flan gets an S3 off and your opponent doesn't have immunity, I would almost say the match is pretty much won. The problem is having her get a turn, and then having no immunities or things that will interrupt her present. That's really the issue on trying a Bruiser build. That's why I'm going to provide you guys right after this with a more aggressive Cleave style build. Not all of you will be able to run Cleave just yet, but I do think that's where she'll fit the most at the moment, okay? So if you're trying to play standard, you can try a build like this, and I'll tell you how to sort of what you need to bring to support her and how to build her, but don't worry, I'll give a Cleave build at the end as well. Okay, back to the Bruiser build. Here's the skill enhancement priority. This is the best part about building her, guys. She needs very, very little Molagor investment, and this is true for both the Bruiser build and the Cleaver build. On her kit, really all the damage is coming from stacking attack and getting that damage from the burns, the bombs, and exploding them on the skill 1. What does that mean? That means we don't need any of the damage molas unless you really, really want to, or, excuse me, unless you're crazy and you want to try a crit damage build, which I actually kind of want to try in the coming weeks. However, like I said, all the damage Molagor is very, very not effective, especially on an attack build. So the only thing you need to get is the -1 turn cooldown on the skill 3, and potentially, I think this is actually nice after testing her. If you have some Mola to spare, get the extra 5% combat readiness. She'll always provide, she almost always gets that, the hunt, where is it? On the hunt, after you press S1, you get that morale of all allies raised. Combat raised by 10, we make that 15%. You times that by every ally, and it's actually pretty value. So you could get the S2, but really all she needs is the -1 turn cooldown on skill 3, and that's for both builds. Now, as for artifacts, let's zoom through this. The best artifact for Bruisers, in my opinion, is still Guiding Light, because you just want to, with so many strong single target nukers out there, like Remnant Violet, like Rimu, now with the most recently released Hua Young, even if you build her tanky, even if she has that built-in damage share, and you run a tank as well, she's very, very likely to still get one shot because she is a ranger and she's not really that extra tanky compared to some other units. And you know, some of those units like Hua Young will eat even the tankiest units alive. So Guiding Light, in my opinion, is very good for Bruisers. But if you really want to risk it all, Proof, I think, could work as well. It's kind of similar to how people back in the day ran Proof Landies. This is actually very nice too because it will stack with her S2 damage share passive. Remember, we can have one total damage reduction, the highest one we take, damage taken reduced, as well as one damage share effect, the highest taken as well. So Aureus or Para plus Adamant Shield or Proof, whatever else damage reduction you have, you can combine the two. Remember that. Other than that, we tested Glow Wings here a little bit. It's kind of fun because it procs off the skill 2 passive. But overall, if you wanted to go Bruiser, I think Guiding Light is just safest and the best. So make sure y'all pick that up. Remember, if you don't have Guiding Light, you can get it from the group banner selector that's coming out soon. Make sure you select Landy and you can pull for the artifact alone. I think for the Cleave build, of course, Star of the Deep Sea is definitely the best. It is probably the highest damage, and I think it's definitely better than running something like Wall of Order. But if you guys have any other Ranger artifacts, please let me know what you guys tried and liked out, especially if you guys are trying to build her in a non-cleave speed build, maybe a more Bruiser style build. Let me know what works. Okay, boys, let's talk about Flan as a cleaver. So I'm going to show some footage of my friend Apex. Make sure y'all check out his interview that I did pretty recently. One of the best cleavers I know, and he was showing us how she works in sort of a cleave setup. Now, I also talked with some other players on how she works in a faster aggro matchup, and while she does definitely, I think, shine here, more so than the standard build, because the faster she is, the less chance we have to get interrupted. We get that S3 off, which is all she needs to do. The skill 2 and skill 1, honestly, guys, are a lot less important. By the time you cycle back to those, the game should have been decided already, so she shines best in cleave. Now, that being said, if you do decide to build her really fast, invest in amazing gear, is she even that great of an addition to cleave? Not necessarily. You could run almost any other unit in that position, and if you have the setup, if you have the first turn initiative, then most likely an Ida, a Caesarea in that position, almost even a Carrot probably would work just as well, if not better. So I do think she still needs some buffs, even in the best of the best cleave setups. And so if she isn't looking too great in standard as a Bruiser or in cleave as a Moonlight 5, I'm probably not going to suggest you spend your mystics on her, unfortunately, at least right now, which is such a shame because I think she looks so cool, and I think they tried their best. They were just playing a little bit safe because the last Moonlight units, or the last units period they've released, have been way too strong. But if you compare to her like a unit like Hua Young, who just straight up works on almost any level with any gear, yeah, I think they missed the mark a little bit. But real fast, here is the cleave build from Apex, and I wanted to show y'all this for my up-and-coming cleavers watching. You don't need to hit these stats exactly, of course, just speed tune it to where you're at in the game, but obviously the same thing holds true. Just like in the Bruiser build I showed y'all, make sure you have some effectiveness to cover the imprints and any annoying artifacts. You know, the imprints or effect resist, that will cover on the DPS units. We're not worried about getting her to 200 effect resist. It's okay. Speed as fast as possible, and then the rest you max out attack. I do think, and I'll put on the screen, the Caesarea artifact is the best for her on a damage build. So if you weren't able to pick up one, guys, don't worry. You'll be able to get it in the group banner selector coming out. Just make sure you pick Caesarea, who I believe will be available, but maybe double check it for yourself. But I do think you'll be able to select Caesarea and then pick up this artifact. Because I do think it's the best for cleaving. All right, y'all. Last but not least, let's go in and talk about who you should be saving your mystics for, if not for Flan. Let's say you watch this, it didn't really sell you because, in all honesty, guys, she's not the best unit. Just maybe the best looking, but gameplay-wise, not the best. However, we know what's coming out next. If you haven't been living under a rock, you know Cleaver will be out next, and there will be no new ML5s after Flan. No new ML5s like Flan and after Flan all the way until July when ML Vivian comes out. In between then and now, I think this is one of the best pickups you can get, guys, and unfortunately for Flan, he is right after. So you probably, especially for free to play, and you want the most bang for your buck for your mystics for gameplay only. Remember, please, guys, pull for Flan if you think you'll have fun and you like her. But if you really just want the most for your mystics spent, Cleaver is just straight up a lot better. Unless Flan gets buffed, guys, Cleaver got some insane buffs. He was like Flan on release. He had some potential, but just wasn't really that great in any particular scenario, and now he's one of the best at almost everything. Cleansing, utility, you name it, he is absolutely busted. You got to pick him up, and that'll be already right after Flan. Now, other than that, guys, there's other reasons to save your mystics. This is the red, green, blue stuff I mentioned. This is how you're going to get your artifacts, like the Caesarea artifact or Guiding Light, but let's skip over that real fast. The next rotations will, of course, be covering units like Sageball, Tywin, Bruiser. We got Maid Chloe, ML Ken, ML Haste. We have the Maid Chloe rerun because of the skin. And then finally, Operator Cigarette, Archie Mercedes, and Dilibet. And guys, if none of those tickle your fancy, not Sylvan Sage Vivian, we have the custom Mystic Summon, which will be coming up eventually. I'm not sure if they said the date exactly. But that'll be happening, in which case you can just pick any unit that wasn't released in the last 6 months, which I believe the cutoff is Bellion. So if you need your APOC Ravi, your Bellion, your Fallen Cecilia, units like that that are also arguably way stronger than Flan, then you got to just save for them as well. But anyways, in closing, guys, I think Flan, to me, I had to pull her. She looks so dang good. Maybe she'll get buffed, but even if she doesn't, she'll have a spot in my drafts here and there when I really want to focus her. I'm going to pick her later. I'll probably focus building her a little bit more speed, even on a Bruiser build. But I think she can work. She's just really not that great, especially compared to a lot of the other Moonlight 5s that were released lately. So hopefully that's the honest review, guys. If you do decide to summon her, let me know how it works out, how your summons go. And if you don't, well, good luck and have fun getting Mediator Quirk right next. Thank you for watching, boys. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out, everybody.